Bitcoin right now. So we're sitting a little bit over 66K, a little bit of a pullback today, although it has looked bullish in recent days. Ethereum, absolute and utter trash. The ratio has gotten even worse. I think it was at 0.037 a bit ago. It's at 2,500 with Bitcoin at 66.3. So looking, continuously terrible is Ethereum, which this is the funny thing. And, I was going to message you this today and I forgot, but we had a clip from last week's stream with Axis Alive that aired, I think, yesterday. And it was about, like, could Ethereum, I think I titled it, like, could Ethereum only get to 8K this cycle? And Axis made his case for like 15 or 16K and how long it would take and what would need to happen for that to happen. And all comments on the video were negative. I mean, everybody was just like, oh my God, I think it'll top out at 6,800. 8K would be like the most bullish thing. And you're also starting to see different influencers that are, already Bitcoin maxis and stuff like that on Twitter, though, dunking on Ethereum right now, left and right. Like it's getting pretty damn bad. I mean, it's been bad for 6 weeks, frankly, and getting worse with this ratio today. But I mean, sentiment wise, it's total goblin town basically for Ethereum right now. So we can look at both of these and, where we think things are going to go. But of course, we've really been focusing on, like, when will Ethereum ever catch up with Bitcoin? What's it going to take here for this ratio to close? So I like your thoughts on that particularly, but we can also just talk about where Bitcoin and this market could go the rest of this year.
Well, I was just pulling up the historical Bitcoin chart. And I wish I had one. Let me look for the one that is the historical chart with halving on it, because it'll give you a good idea. Bitcoin chart with halving. So I think, let's see here. Sorry for the dead air, but here we go. So this is a good one. So, if you look at some of these dates, look how long they go before it really starts to pump. So this halving date, we'll go back to this one in 2016. It looks like it was right around July 19th-ish. I'm sorry, July 10th, it looks like. And then you go all the way to December, maybe even into January, before things really started to pick up. So, you've got a good 6.5, 7 months. Same with this. When you go here, in the 2020 date, I know it was around the end of April, beginning of May, right? Yeah, right here, May 3rd or May 4th, whatever it is. You've got up until November 16th, it looks like, before it really started to take off. And again, there's another 5-6 months. Well, so here, the halving was April. We are right there, literally right there within the zone. So I mean, if these are saying anything about history repeating itself, it's due any day, any time to just really start really ramping up, like these ones all did right after. Now this one, the first one, I think caught people by surprise. There was no history, there was nothing to go on, but it still, it had a run up, and then it tailed off, and then it ran up again. So, again, these are becoming more clear. These are looking very similar, and this one's looking just as similar as well. And it's showing that if history repeats itself, it's going to be any time now, especially for Bitcoin. And, when Bitcoin runs, everything else kind of does too. So, I really like where we're at, even though it is only sideways, not doing a whole lot. But when Bitcoin runs, Ethereum will run, and they tend to run harder. The altcoins, will run harder. Obviously, as these tail off, people start exiting Bitcoin and some of the other assets to get into the smaller cap coins, and it just kind of trickles down through the rest of everything. So again, I like where we're at. I think it looks good as far as this chart is concerned, and they've even highlighted it basically green for us to show where the sideways went before it really took off. And if you look, I mean, we're right there. So yeah, I mean, this is just showing, I don't want to do the monthly, but we can do at least the weekly, and we're in that zone. This sideways zone is just priming. I mean, and you've got a lot more bullish things that are going on too. You've got the ETF.
Are you meaning real quick? Are you meaning to share a different chart? It sounded like you went to something else, and we still have the other one on the screen. My bad.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, no,
we got the ETF.
The ETF. There's just a lot of sideways. So, and that is basically shown by that green area on here. So this is what we're looking at. This is where we're at, and historically, it's due to get really good here in the next couple of weeks, probably.
Really, the next couple of weeks too, and that would jive with what a lot of people have been saying for quite some time. The November timeframe, October, November, December. These things are ranges. I mean, I know people sometimes get frustrated with people that chart stuff, and it's like, well, you change your mind. You always change things. It's like, well, yeah, the market is also fluid. It does change, but we're still within that range of time. Like you said, if you want to assign actual storylines to it, we got the election finally over here in 2 weeks, and honestly, I know people aren't going to want to hear this, but I mean, I think regardless of the result, we're going to get bullish because it's just the time frame. Like it's just like you just illustrated, it's the time frame. Obviously, we're wishing for a certain result that is hopefully, knock on wood, increasingly likely to happen here if you believe polls. But even if it doesn't, I think we're still going to be good as far as time frame goes. And remember, like Bitcoin, all these people that are putting all this, I don't want me to get on this tangent, but these people that are putting all of this stuff into this election and are like, oh, if Trump doesn't win, we're doomed and all this stuff. I mean, Bitcoin was born during an Obama administration. Now you can argue that Obama might be different than what we've got over there now, but anyway, I think it's just going to come down to the time frame, and I think that we are going to see bullish action for both the rest of this year. And I mean, people are just doing everything that they always do with Ethereum right now. They're looking at that ratio, and everybody's calling it dead and bouncing out of Ethereum, and it's never going to come back. I mean, these are the things that happen at lows. So it's tough in the meantime. The toughest thing, honestly, is to just sit on your hands, do nothing, and just take it. Basically, just bend over and let Vitalik just go right ahead and jam one right in, and you just gotta last long enough is all I gotta say. So
it's all about time. I'm seeing in the chat here there's some decent questions.
There are. I wanted to wait on Michael Freeman's because I think it is dedicated almost a segment to it. But
I was gonna say, if you guys have any good questions, we don't have a whole lot of topics tonight, so post them up and we will get to them. I see you've already starred them, so don't think we aren't answering at the moment, but we will get to some of these questions. I just wanted to let everybody know that.
Yeah, we will definitely. Michael will help you out with that here in a little bit, but stay tuned for sure. So did you have anything else on Bitcoin and ETH? I think that pretty much kind of.
No, the only thing I did want to bring up, and I kind of flashed on it here just for a second, but to your point on the ratio, we've really fallen hard on this. Let's go here and here. Yeah, I mean, the last candle has gone from 0.039 all the way down to 0.036. And when you're talking ratios with these two coins that have been around for a long time, that's a sizable drop. Right. I mean, obviously it's not as big as this one on August 24th, but it's still a sizable candle. And again, when these things turn around, this will definitely get better as well. It's just a matter of how much longer is it going to be? And as I said, I think it's getting close.
Yeah. The best thing to do is to try to distract yourself in times like this. It's definitely tough, and I understand that, but just kind of what we have to do while Vitalik finishes for us. You know what I mean?